Yay, yay, yay! Sorry. I'm in that space of like, I'm sleepy, but I'm kind of silly with it. I fear during the stream I might crash a little, but hello. Welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. AA4 Turnabout Succession in the middle of the Mason system investigation portion. Hi, the one who knocks. Sorry, I'm voguing and dancing to the song. You can't see it, but I am. So we learned that Shady Smith from the first case is in fact Shady Enigmar, aka Zach Gramery, aka Trucy's biological father. So Christoph Gavin killed Trucy's father and was trying to get rid of Phoenix. Why? We're gonna find out. We've also learned that Christoph may have been the one who gave Vera the nail polish that she had as a child and then showed, 7 years later to us. Her good luck charm. That was given to her by the client of the forged letter, or forged diary page, which was also Christoph Gavin. Everything's turning up Christoph. Wow, the shady character was shady? No way, right? Yeah. I think the fun of it isn't necessarily who done it, but like, how done it in this case. I don't know if groomer would be the right word for him, but he certainly takes advantage of the naivete, if you will, of minors and people who are just generally kind. So I'll talk about that at the end of the case. Yeah, the how done it and why done it. Exactly. He isn't like that, Your Honor. No, I think that you're using the wrong word for him. Groomer is a word I take very seriously because I have had friends who were groomed by adults, and that is not necessarily what we are looking at. We are looking at something that has less to do with the fact that they are children and more to do with the fact that he takes advantage of people who are willing to be believing, right? Anyway, we have one more thing in the past to investigate for now. And it's this. I don't even know who's here. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's here, huh? Yeah, sorry about that, bud. What strange sight doth mine eyes behold? Excuse me? Two men on either side of a single transparent pane. Yet it seems fickle fate has switched sides, so to speak. The forger of fakes walks freely, while the innocent languishes within these plexiglass confines. On some Johann type beat? I don't know what you mean. There's been no proof that I forged anything. Nor proof that I took the life of my dear mentor. Yet, these chains cannot hold me for long. The stage awaits. He literally said he's gonna defy gravity, guys. He's holding space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity. I can't wait to rewatch this stream in like 2 years and be like, oh my god, I forgot about that. The stage awaits. And what, may I ask, awaits you? A little piano and a cold little hole in the wall. But since you are here, what shall we discuss? The shooting of Magnifique Grammary, for one. Who pulled that trigger? Valant? Valant? I still don't know how to pronounce your name, bro. Or his partner, Zach. His partner vanished before the answer could be found. Partner is such a gay word. You've never watched Monster, it makes sense. No worries. Yeah, I don't know what that is. If I'm going to get any closer to the truth, this is the place to start. Alright. Let's yap. I have to hand it to my partner. He knows how to make an exit. That's talent. Yes, he made my attorney's badge disappear and he never even touched it. Glory's spotlight always leaves someone weeping in the shadows. Yet his very disappearance is itself a revelation. Revealing what? Zach Gramarye killed McAfee. It's as good as a signed confession. That's certainly been public opinion's take on it. I grow tired of my cage, and the time of my release is near. I must go and prepare. Planning on jumping back into the magic right away? As long as an audience waits with bated breath, there will be Valant. And also... Yes? Now that my partner has disappeared, McAfee's repertoire is mine. Valant Gramarye has a tradition to uphold. Is that true? Why does your undershirt look like a jersey? Do you know what I mean? Where it's got like the line up that like a lot of jersey pants and jackets have? Seen in this light, the trial was quite good to me, verdict or no. And you can't pay for that kind of publicity. Okay. The suspicion on you hasn't lifted entirely, Valant. After all, you received one of those letters too. You were just as obligated to follow McAfee's instructions as your partner. Yeah. So I was, but only Zach Gramarye followed them. Let us not speak any more of who shot what. Now that my partner has vanished, the question is moot. I'm more interested in learning something else, actually. What might that be? I want to know what McAfee had up his sleeve. How could he coerce you and your partner to kill him? The trick up his sleeve? Perhaps you do not know. Know what? A great magician never reveals his secrets. Holy. I didn't think it would be that easy. The audience must remain forever in the audience, bathing in the reflected glow of the spotlight. Well, I hate to break it to you, brother, but I am not I keep calling people brother. I'm not an audience member. I'm also on stage. And I'm here too! Let's see if we can do it. The trick up his sleeve. I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this one. There must be a path leading from the evidence to the truth. And that's what I'm going to find. To ask someone to take a life, even one not long for this world, that's asking someone to commit murder. Yes, our mentor was fond of dramatic moves and dramatic finales. And he got his wish. His life was taken. What weakness would be so powerful as to coerce someone into committing murder? Yes, blackmailing, my favorite hobby. I don't think I've ever blackmailed anybody before. Not seriously, at least. I'd be like, if you don't play this game, I'm gonna cry. But I've not been blackmailed. But I've had things like secrets turned, on their head to, like, use against me, for instance. Or not even secrets, just, like, personal information. Very unkind. I don't talk to that person anymore. Hi, Ivy! Oh, I hope Wicked was wonderful. I've heard really good things. Eventually I will see it. I'm not sure I'll see it in theaters, though. I don't do well with movie theaters. My guess it was a matter of life or death. Care to explain? Your troupe lived in a world of showmanship. The flashier, the better. And flashy so often means danger, doesn't it? Let us make this as painless as possible. If you have proof of this danger, then show it. Okay. I would say this. Okay. Why, that's one of ours! Specially designed for your show, I gather. A single bullet. One shot. What are you suggesting? We are magicians, Mr. Wright, not murderers. I'm not crying murder, Mr. Valent. I'm crying something far more tragic. An accident. Zack and Valent's quick draw shoot 'em. How long has it been since those shots were last heard? Was the shoot 'em cancelled because someone might get hurt? Of course! What other reason could there be? Well, it could have been cancelled because someone had already been hurt. Fascinating, my Faustian forging friend. Not the Faustian forging friend. But tell me, what can you prove with a single pistol? Well, tell me what would Tell me what would have happened if there had been an accident. What if one of your bullets took a life on stage? The performance of magic is not concerned with what-ifs. It is concerned with precision. Precisely whom do you claim we shot? Looks like I've chosen the right path. Let's just hope he walks it with me. A life was sacrificed so that the show might go on, and this shows who it was. Where is she? But that's Zack Gramarye's wife, and Trucy's mother. Thalassa, I believe, was her name. Alakazam! But how can you say this? How can you say she was struck by one of our bullets? Still in denial mode, eh? Thalassa was at the greatest risk of being shot, and this clearly shows just how much danger she was in. Is it this? I'm gonna guess it's this? Okay. Troupe Gramarye's performances were very, very popular. So popular they even made a commemorative stamp at the height of your fame. We were not merely the latest craze. We were an age. A golden age. It's all here on this stamp. There's Thalassa, yes? Trucy's mother is missing, I hear. What happened to her? I don't know. A part of his memory is still locked up. There was one thing you're failing to address. What's that? As you say, our troupe was a world unto itself. If our leader, Magnify, was so inclined, he could hide anything he wished with ease. But Mr. Wright, then he would have hid a crime, making him an accomplice. Not a great foundation for blackmail. Valent's got a point. If one of the troupe members died in an accident, and Magnify covered it up, his innocence would come into question. Found the right address, Mr. Wright? I'm so close. There has to be something about how Thalassa's death could affect Zack and Valent's relationship with Magnify. I see in your eyes. You still have something to say. How can you possibly prove more than you already have? I'll prove why Thalassa's accident tied your hands so completely. I'm thinking maybe it's Trucy. Because she had a child. I'm gonna try. It's going to take a little knowledge of the players to crack this one. The accidental death of Zack's wife tied both your hands, and this information proves why Magnify held so much power over you. Okay, I was wrong. Were you by any chance trying to threaten me? Hey, the one who knocks, I can't tell if it's a joke or not when you're like saying things like that, so please don't suggest things. If I'm wrong, let me be wrong. Thank you. Were you yeah, okay, whatever. No, of course not. You'll never make a good blackmail artist. Never. Okay, so it's not Trucy. Not a career choice I had been considering, actually. Give up your dreams. Work an honest job. That's my advice. The troop was a tight-knit unit. It's all about the people involved. Their personalities, their histories. Who was Thalassa really? Okay. I think actually, okay, let's try the evidence, and let's try that, no better proof than the evidence. The accidental death of Zack's wife tied both your hands, and this evidence proves why Magnafee held so much power over you. I think it's the rights. Fuck! I don't know then. Shit. Okay, let me look at my stuff. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing here. No one cares about this. I don't think this matters. This doesn't matter. Okay, I think that's just the time difference, really. No, I want to read it, dumb cough. Maybe the last. I leave the rest to them. The first should come soon. Okay. May go on not long. That depends on his hand. Okay. Is it just Thalassa? Hold on. Let me look at the people. Okay, baby. Motherfucker. Missing. Other baby. Current man. Okay. Dead. Is it because whereabouts unknown? Or is it because of, like, the Trucy's mother? I feel like it ought to be Trucy. Okay, let me try with a person. If it's not Thalassa, I genuinely don't know. Okay. It wasn't a question of who shot Thalassa. Thalassa herself was the problem. What do you mean? She was Zack Gramarye's wife, Trucy's mother, and Magnafee Gramarye's only daughter. There was a terrible accident. Oh, so it still does. Okay, I was in the right headspace. I was getting ahead of myself. I was thinking of, like, Trucy being the heiress now. But that's assuming that Thalassa is out of the picture. He wanted to address the fact that Thalassa's out of the picture first, and she was the heiress first. Okay. That makes sense. There was a terrible accident. And the two of you killed your mentor's only daughter. If that wasn't the key to Magnafee's power over you, I don't know what was. It was an accident! I love your bunnies. Thank you, game. There's no proof! None at all! But Thalassa went missing. And your mentor blackmailed both of his disciples. It doesn't take a genius to put one and one together. Oh, were we assuming that she wasn't dead? Well, of course she was fucking dead. Okay, Phoenix. Ours was a complex family. The Fallout mobile game? No. I don't play mobile games. The only one I ever played was, no, the only two I ever played were Nekoatsume and Disney Tsum Tsum, and I got addicted to both of them and I had to stop. Hi, Groovy Antagonist. He's so bountiful. So true. You mean Troop Gramarye? The master, Magnafee Gramarye, his only daughter, and his two disciples. That does sound like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Do not be tempted into faulty flights of fancy. Yes, there was an accident. But that is all it was, an accident. Zack and Valent's tour de force. The guns blaze, the bullets fly, straight toward that beautiful body on stage. And then crash, zing, pow, into everything but her. Now that is magic. It happened one day when we were practicing. Same trick with a new twist. And tragedy. But as for whose bullet stole Thalassa's life, we shall never know the answer. Thalassa disappeared from our lives, and Zack was bereft of his wife. And that was your chance to move in. I am so in the... People are like, the love triangle. Valent also was in love with Thalassa. I'm like, where? He was in love with Zack. He's obsessed with Zack. He's obsessed with Zack. That's his partner. When he's like, it was our thing. He doesn't even mention Thalassa's name. Trucy lost her mother. And Magnifi, his daughter. And you didn't really... You lost your competitor in love. Did no one check the body? Well, it wouldn't have mattered, I guess, which gun it had come out of, because they both had the same type of gun. So it would have shown the bullet coming from that type of gun. And they were both shooting. So I don't think it would have mattered, unfortunately. And that led to blackmail, I take it. It is all part and parcel of the darkness that comes when the curtain falls. The darkness. Why did Magnifi Gramarye try to cover up the accident? It was his own daughter who died. All I can say is, it was a critical time for Troop Gramarye. A passing of the torch from Magnifi to Zack and Valent. We all sacrificed so that it might be a success. Thalassa's death was the greatest sacrifice of all. Yet, even when her life was extinguished, her presence was not. What do you mean? In time, we, myself and Zack, found we could no longer oppose Magnifi's wishes. Magnifi forced us to perform his art for his benefit. I see. I guess I can understand. I mean, he did lose his only daughter. But do you not find cowardice in his actions? Huh? To decide to hide the truth of your own daughter's death is one thing. But then to hang that death as a guillotine over our heads... Things were dark behind the scenes in Troop Gramarye, that's for sure. Does Trucy know? She was not told, naturally. Who would want to know that their father might have taken their mother's life? True. I had not thought of that accident for a very long time. I'm sorry to dredge up old memories, but this has helped a lot. Not to find Magnifi's slayer, I should think. True. After that accident, there was one who came sniffing, quite persistently. A reporter? He called himself a newsman at the time. Often, I spied him lurking about the dressing room, doing his research. Would you happen to remember his name? What was his name? Sorry, I have forgotten. But in the course of his interviewing, he became quite close to my partner, Zack. He moved in on your man. Zack gets all the bitches. Sorry, I'm putting my wrist guard on. You'll hear sounds of Velcro. I mean, you probably would have seen which gun it was coming from, or the bullet, if she was facing someone, it would have been... Well, we don't know, because we don't know, like, the direction of... No, people were there to see it, but, like, the bullets are going, like, crazy. It's a magic trick, right? And so, like, we don't know how space and time, so to speak, are being manipulated in that case. So I think it's valid for them to be like, we don't know which one. The bullets could have been, like, bouncing off of things, or, like, ricocheting in certain ways, like, we don't know. Which is why I can buy this excuse. If magic wasn't an issue, if this was just, like, they both shot at the same time and Lady was in the air, I would agree with you completely. I do feel that that should be very obvious otherwise. Anyway, I liked him not. As I was saying, he moved in on your man. I see. His name. I do not recall, but his scent, the cloying aroma of mint. Yes, whenever he smiled, which was far too often. I see. Thanks for your help. It does no good to interfere with the past, Mr. Wright. You will not uncover answers, only wounds. I'm sorry. I had begun to notice a dark curtain hanging over Troop Grammary. And I began to realize what I had to do. I had to protect Trucy from that darkness. The reporter he mentioned, the newsman. I never learned who that was at the time. Though I've got a pretty good idea who it is now. That smile and the sickly sweet smell of mint. The last floss thin thread connecting Zach Grammary to this world. Sooner or later, I'd have to track him down. So he's who I gotta find next, eh? Nice. We did it. Ooh, okay. I'm doing a psyche lock on him. I don't know that I can do anything here right now. I don't know who will be here, if this is Emma, or if this is gonna be Brushel. And I would assume this is Valant again. Okay. I'm gonna take a bet. Yep, there he is. Yeah? Well, what do we have here? Remember me? Of course I remember you. Journalist meets ex-attorney in bar, end quote. Can I ask what you're doing here? Mr. Measham was poisoned, and his daughters... Oh, yes, I know. Oh, how I know, yes. It's caused me no end of grief, to be honest. Journalist wishes he'd track down case just a little quicker, end quote. Were you on the trail of this case the whole time? Zach Grammary was a good friend. Zach really got all the bitches, guys. I fear Zach got around. Zach said something to that effect back at the Borscht Bowl Club. What a character, what a man. If a little, no, a lot, no, extremely rough around the edges. Do you think I could ask you a few questions? Oh, you serious? I mean, I'm usually the interviewer, not interviewee. Journalists ask questions, not the other way around, end quote. Fine, shoot, I don't care. People have been asking me all sorts of things lately. I do want to examine just to see what Phoenix says about things in this office. Oh, you don't have anything to say about this? Huh. This is where Mr. Measham fell? Never thought our 7-year reunion would be quite like this. Wait, you knew Mr. Measham? I met him once, in court. It was a brief meeting, but one I'll remember for the rest of my life. Now that's a story right there, that is. I smell a scoop. Ex-attorney now down on his luck, pianist plays Sonata of Sorrow, end quote. I'm all ears, let's have it, don't hold anything back. The head nod, I do really like this particular sprite where he's writing on his arm and he's nod, mm-hmm. Could you at least get rid of the down on his luck part? It's really funny. The door outside. Vera might come walking in at any moment if she wasn't in intensive care. Will she ever come through that door again, I wonder? Those 3 paintings. All Drew's works, of course. Which is to say Vera's works, really. Or, to be more precise, Vera's forgeries of someone else's works. Of course, if you demand utter and total precision. Actually, there's nothing more. I was about to say. What is bro yapping about? Alright, let's look over here. A drafting table. Probably for making detailed designs for forgeries. You know what I think about that? I'll tell you. Painting should be done freehand. No rules, no restrictions. So true, bestie. You really think a line drawn by a ruler is going to move anyone? I smell a letter to the editor. Could you write an article with a ruler? End quote. Unless you wanted a ruler to write the address on your blackmail letter straight. That's what I think. You can quote me on it too. You could drop this guy on a deserted island and he wouldn't get bored. The painting behind the cabinet, we know what that is. It's the original of the one that's being... It was in the process of being forged. That's an odd assortment of equipment to find in a painter's studio. Of course, it makes more sense when you know they were making forgeries. I guess that's why they never took visitors here. Why is there... Again, there's x-rays and stuff. Wouldn't really want people seeing all this. Yes, in fact, I was the first human being ever to set inside this studio. Or, other than Mr. Measham, of course. Oh, and Vera, too. And this is assuming that I'm human, of course. I'm beginning to have my doubts. And it's also not true because we came in here. Phoenix did. Look at all the jars of paints and pigments. Why are there so many jars of the same color? My guess is that they're sorted by age. Age? When you're making a forgery, it's important to match the age of the original, see? Paint compositions changed a lot over the years. That's such a good point. Oh, right. Did you learn of that in journalism school? Journalists relies on writing skill and imagination, end quote. As long as you don't do news stories by imagination. Either that, or they just bought a lot of the same color by mistake. I found myself not caring anymore. He's like, you know what? Whatever. I've got bigger things to worry about. Let's take a closer look at that desk. Alright. This envelope's from the client who requested that forgery. Just think, if that had gotten lost in the mail, I'd still be wearing my attorney's badge. A picture of a young Mr. Measham and a very young Vera. They're smiling. They look happy. Of course, now Mr. Measham's passed away, and Vera's on death's doorstep in the hospital. Guess I'll just do what I can, and hope it's enough. I just have to do that when I see this pose. I can't believe it's been 7 years. I have to stop torturing myself with these things. I know, I'll just pretend it's saying something else. The post office? Why, it's right over there. Good day, sir. Yeah, I think he was an art major, but I think that he was like in drama. He was like acting and not like painting or anything. Those are very different. He was like, he studied Shakespeare is what Shu Takumi said in an interview. This frame looks even smaller sitting next to that photo. Just the right size for a commemorative stamp indeed. A commemorative stamp put there by a daughter that killed her father. Sometimes, life just sucks. Bro. A Phoenix, poor Phoenix, Crimea River, he should. He's had a very hard 7 years. Sometimes life just sucks. Just so true, bestie. Alright, let's talk to this guy. It was tragic what happened to Drew Measham and his daughter. Forgery is a serious crime, and they paid the price. You know what really did them in, though, don't you? Yes, a forged diary page. The night I interviewed him, I found out something about Mr. Measham I hadn't known. What's that? You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Every day for 7 years. Walls have ears, potatoes have eyes, end quote. Being watched? You mean he felt guilty? No, I'm not talking about feelings here. Huh? You know, I felt watched too. The whole time I've been on this case, no less. Journalist gets tingling sensation on back of neck, freaks out, end quote. Because you felt guilty? Yeah, no, that's true. I blame Phoenix for not thinking through as per usual. Why would I feel guilty? You felt like you were being watched, huh? I wonder what it all means. Drew Measham felt like he was being watched. And you along with him. You sure it wasn't just nerves? Nerves? No, it's nothing so mundane. I stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago. But I felt it too. Journalist sure is... Journalist sure he is being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gramery got rubbed out after 7 years? Right after coming out into contact with me? He completely vanishes from that courtroom. Then for 7 years he talks to no one, not a soul. Then just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made. And then he dies. Starting to put the pieces together, are we? And you were being watched this whole time? Maybe not just me. Maybe you were too. Me? I met Zach through that case, actually. You mean the shooting of Magnifique Grammary? No, before that. It's not widely known. You mean the accident? During the quick draw shoot-'em practice? My, you're well informed. You should have seen me back then. I dug up quite the scoop. I wanted it all. Money, fame, women, a little puppy, all for me. I was younger then, and my days and nights smelled of fresher mint than they do now. How old is he again? Isn't he in his 30s? So that was... Trucy would have been, like... Trucy, that was, like, almost 10 years ago? Oh, yeah, he would have been just starting out, I guess. Valent Grammary did mention one particularly nosy reporter. Breschel just like me, for real. That's funny. In fact, I was on close speaking terms with Magnifique Grammary at the time. I knew his daughter, too, of course. Thalassa, was it? Really? Then Thalassa disappeared, quite suddenly at that. And Magnifique wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of a scoop, goes on feeding frenzy, end quote. Employing woman? Yeah, I see it totally. He's not the worst man in the Ace Attorney series, and a lot of those men had women too. Great example would be fucking Manfred von Karma. I set up a one-on-one interview with Thalassa's husband, see? Zach Grammary. Something strange was in the air over at Troop Grammary in those days. The whole screwy mentor controlling disciples scene had started by then, I'm guessing. Thalassa, she was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me, off the record. Sorry, I don't know. Anyway, I kept prying and eventually became friends with Zach. Sure, he punched me once or twice, or 5 times, but over time he came to see me as his confidant. That's so... He's been waiting this whole time. 7 years, eh? Waiting? For his big comeback, of course. A big revival of the Magnifique miracle. Of course, it was all a dream. Because of this. The performance rights. In the absence of any official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zach and Valent? So Valent waited until Zach died. Legally, at least. The time finally comes and Valent's like a kid on Christmas morning. He's getting ready for his show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know. If that document sees the legal light of day, it's going to put a bit of a damper on the big show. He's a sorry one, that Valent Grammary. Lost out to his partner at work, and in love, too. Love? It's the same old story, really. 2 disciples, and their mentor's only daughter. What has 3 sides and all of them pointy? A love triangle. That is pretty classic. When you're in a performing troupe, that's your world. It's like family. One with an entire high school's worth of drama, intrigue, and backstabbing. And in the middle of it all, in the middle of all this, Thalassa has Trucy. And then she dies. I need to find out more about this Thalassa. This is it's so funny because he never says that, like, Valent's in love with Thalassa, though. He just says there was a love triangle. Like, I can't wait to play this game in Japanese. Do they come across as so fucking gay in that, too? That's concerning to say the least, right? Yeah. Mr. Brushel, do you know this person? Do I know that person? Of course! I was friends with Zach, after all. He hit me a few times. 5 times, actually. But still, I'd never forget his wife. Thalassa Gramarye. Magnifi Gramarye's only daughter. Do you think you could tell me more about her? Well, why the heck not? So, Thalassa married Zach and had Trucy, see? It was her second marriage, actually. Oh. You mean she was divorced? I hadn't heard this one before. Not quite. Her late husband was a performer, too. So her first husband was also a performer. Okay. Apparently he died during some gig. Oh, he was like a musician. Tragic, really. They had only been married 1 year. I didn't know. Ah, but she was a beauty. I still carry a portrait photo of her around, you know. And there it is. Now, I've known Trucy since she was a little thing, too. She got the better deal, really. She's got you for family, after all. What do you mean? Just reminiscing, you know. Thalassa has another child besides Trucy, end quote. What? But Trucy said she was an only child. Ah, yes, this one she had with her previous husband. Her previous husband? Her first husband who died during a performance? Yep, they had themselves a kid. Another orphan now. That's another one who slipped through the cracks. No idea where they are now. Thalassa had another child? Do you think I could borrow that photo? Sure, I can be generous on occasion, you know. I won't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Trucy before I forget. People and events all get tangled together and get bigger and bigger. Don't you think? I was too busy wondering about bigger to listen to what you were saying. Sometimes you just gotta accept that you won't be able to untangle it all, I think. Maybe so. But still, I have to do what I can. And I have to tell what I find to those who come next. Next, you say? I'm not the one who will close the curtain on this little play. Apparently, that's not my role anymore. Magnifi. I was just wondering what Magnifi would think of all this. What do you mean? Haven't you seen it in Trucy? She's got his power. You mean how I can't lie to Trucy? It was the same with Magnifi. And with his daughter, Thalassa. It's a strange thing. You'd think it's some Gramarye gene? Magnifi told me once back when Zach married Thalassa. He said Zach had good eyes. But not good like a Gramarye's eyes. Not that good. I wonder if Zach ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the Gramarye secret was? Maybe nobody now that Zach's gone. Zach Gramarye. The plot had finally begun to reveal itself. It sprouted from a warp in the Gramarye fabric and grew, swallowing everything, wrapping itself around the Gramarye's power. A power which passed from Magnifi Gramarye to Thalassa to the next generation. And I would once again need to meet the one who bridged it all together. Alright, now we can finally break those psyche locks. I can now see why you were hesitant to talk about this, Zach Grammary. Wrong. I need to save. This reveal is so good. I'm assuming it's like perception? Maybe. Think we're about to find out. The Grammary secret. I have to know more about this power of Trucy's. It's like she can see right into people's minds. The first time I saw her do it, it blew mine. And after you were done having your mind blown, you took her to play cards with you. Gotta use the resources at hand, I always say. Yet I myself have no such power. But Trucy does. Why is that? Maybe Trucy got her power from her mother. Thalassa Grammary? I will not speak of that. Thalassa is officially missing, correct? And I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. Is this gun again? I would assume this is gun, because you guys, you fucked up. Gun. Hell yeah. The three of you were a team once. Not that the entire country doesn't already know this. At your peak, you were the biggest stars around. Yet, there's another story behind the fame. One that not many know. Thalassa lost her life during a rehearsal. To you and Valiant Grammary's bullets. It was an accident. It wasn't me. Ugh. How could I shoot my dear Thalassa? I'm sure Valiant would say the same thing. Why, it's just like another murder I might mention. Damn you. Her eyes. I loved Thalassa's eyes. To think they could read my mind was frightening. Yet there was a warmth in them that felt like an embrace. She is dead, and Magnify has joined her. So the only one with her power left now is Trucy? Mr. Zack? I do not know. I don't need any power to see through that one, buddy. So there's someone else. Someone other than Trucy. Someone who inherited Thalassa's power. How would I know? My chances are slim. It would take a miracle to learn the truth. Or maybe one has already occurred. There is someone else with the power. And I know who. And his name is Apollo Justice. This boy. His name is... I forget. Something weird. This is so wretched of Phoenix. At this point, Phoenix, like, Apollo hasn't defended him in court yet, so he, like, barely remembers Apollo's name, but that's really funny. From a man named Phoenix, right? That's so funny. Who could he be? An attorney. Attorney? I noticed him when I went to visit a friend's law offices. So, what are we to make of this, oh great ex-attorney? You can show me pictures of strange boys all you like. Whoa. I don't like that line. But you could at least say something like, I'm this boy. I could use a laugh. Perhaps you wouldn't laugh if you knew the facts. This might not be 100% proof, but it's close. There's a link between this boy and Thalassa. Actually, it's more of a ring. A ring? Perhaps this will refresh your memory. I just so happen to have evidence showing this missing link. Very familiar looking pair of bracelets there, Thalassa. Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second. How did you know this? Her first husband. He died a year after they were wed, yes? He was a performer. They met when he joined us Grammarys as a guest in our show. After Thalassa wed him, she left the troupe for a while. And you say she had a child then? I have a photograph of her here. I couldn't help notice... That's a typo. I couldn't help but notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stand out. They're a Grammary family heirloom. This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in the picture. What? So, that's why. Why what, Mr. Zack? I took this photograph of Thalassa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. I bet I know where that other one went. She gave it to this boy. Her son. Half-sibling Trucy and Apollo reveal. Let's fucking go. Boo, 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 boo. I had a feeling. So when I first played this game, I didn't know. But I was like, they look kind of alike. Like, when she takes her hat off, she has a little, like, cowlick that's very similar to his front horns. And they just, like, they have, I don't know, their dynamic is extremely sibling in the writing. They, like, immediately just hit it off. And yeah, they're half siblings, which is so sweet. They have the same mommy. Say mommy. But Apollo did not have such a lucky childhood. He was an orphan. We will find out more about Apollo's childhood in another game. If you know, you know. A game I'm very normal about. This strange power. I myself do not know where it comes. From where it comes. Let me try that line again. I myself do not know from where it comes. Yet the fact is that it passed down the Grammary line. It runs in their veins. What is it? I asked her, Thalassa, once. This is what she told me. Her power responds to tension in others. Tension? If she were to face a person and they became tense, even slightly, then she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. So she could see it? Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all. She wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting this tension, without the use of a particular object. Or in her case, objects. Objects? Wait, were they something she wore? Yes, her bracelets. Shouldn't have spoiled yourself. I tried to tell you, dude. One thing about me, I'm cold and calculated. I'm a Virgo. I'm a bitch. I don't say very many things without reason. Even though I'm in streams, I'm talking stream of consciousness, I still say things for a reason. Anyway. I admit the first time I saw one of those, I felt there was more to it than just fashion. But what kind of power could a bracelet have? I have made a decision. I will tell you all I know. Consider it a gift. Okay. Trucy and Apollo, half-siblings, let's fucking go. Well, I hardly need you to tell me at this point, but those two. Our brother and sister, yes. And the brother, too, has this power of theirs. So Trucy has an older brother. I wonder what'll come of that. Mr. Wright, tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing. I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I am in your debt. Once again. No kidding. What I want to know is how this all got to be so messed up. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It's about the alloys, guys. This is so stupid. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in response to body warmth. So they're temperature sensitive or something. Yes. This is how they can shrink to the exact size of their wearer's wrist. And this has something to do with the power? What have I told you? The Grammary power reacts to tension in others. When a Grammary senses tension, they too become tense. They're empaths, is what the game is telling me. They're empaths. And this tension translates into minute contractions of the muscles. So minute, they cannot sense it on their own. Their muscles. Oh, so that's what the bracelets are for. With the bracelet on, one can sense these contractions. Because the bracelet is always a perfect fit. So when the person they're wearing, or the person they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on their wrist. You guys gotta keep with the message retracted. I'm so serious. I read your messages. Just keep them in chat. It's fine. Precisely. But that alone doesn't really count as mind reading. Yeah, Apollo's a fucking orphan. Apollo's life has sucked. And we will continue to learn how suckish it is, just not in the next 2 games, because the next 2 games are the Edgeworth Investigations ones. I believe I understand how the process works from there. It's a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight? I guess that sounds simple enough. Phoenix is like, I don't fucking know. Ugh. I went to the mall today. I forgot going there always just like fucks up my sinuses so badly. Even wearing a KN95. Have you ever heard of kinetic vision? Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it was stopped, if they focus. Oh, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The faintest twitch of the face, and the meaning that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of a crowd before one may distract it. This is... People, especially like the Japanese fandom, I've noticed, they love drawing a Magician Apollo AU. I support it. That would be so fun. Also, yes, Ivy, you can finally get into part one of your Apollo character analysis soon. So basically what you're saying is the Grammarys can see really well. For them, seeing is more than believing. It is knowing. Their power relies on eyesight combined with exceptional focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me, too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such levels of focus for any length of time. But what if someone could tell you when to focus? Or something. Precisely. But wait, Trucy doesn't have any bracelets. You were talking about poker, yes? The timing of when to focus is so elementary, she probably does it without thinking. I doubt Trucy herself has realized this. That is all I know of things Grammary. Thank you, Mr. Zack. If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. I'll keep that in mind. Well, shall we play a game? Ah, I've said so much. Let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night. That night? The night my mentor, Magnifi Grammary, passed from this world to the next. Apollo and Trucy must have felt so alone. Apollo growing up in an orphanage, Trucy losing her father and her mother, but then they found each other in the end. Yeah, I think that's so wonderful of like, they are siblings, but they did not grow up with each other, and yet they still managed to find each other. It's like so sweet, and they already care so much about each other at this point, and they don't even know that they're related. Yeah. Anyway. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. This was Magnifi's test. A test? In his last years, Magnifi Grammary worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night I could not shoot him, so I shot the clown's forehead instead. This, it seems, was the correct answer. Take this. I give my art to you, Zack. What? It is thanks for playing along with my show. You shot well tonight, Zack. Though I would not have minded dying by your hand. How could I shoot you? You're my mentor. I thought you might say that. If I went home without shooting anything, what would you have done then? Then, of course, I would have given Valent his chance. If I'd shot you in the forehead instead, then it would be over. If you or Valent were to shoot me in the head, then I, to the darkness, would go, and my art with me. A fitting end, don't you think? Ugh. Yet this ending, too, gives me no cause for regret. I thank you, Zack. And I am sorry. I have done much that was wrong in my day. It seems to me that Magnafate wanted you to be a successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valent's. Perhaps, but it is not something we will ever know now for sure. I wonder, what is Valent up to these days? Are you thinking of your old flame? God, gay people are so funny. Waiting for you to die. If 7 years pass like this, the performance rights go to him. He's like, oh no, we're bitter exes. Ah. And now here I am, and his dream is ended. It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing, you know. What? You don't mean to tell me they've put the blame for our mentor's death on him? The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valent helped you pull it off. But that's madness! Well, it seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated? Even though I'm dead. Hold on, I want to see something. Is his... Hold on. Where is it? Here. Okay, never mind. She's got the diamond. I was just like, is his hair, facial hair shaped in the way... Okay, it's not. Never mind. I'll shut up. That night, Zack Gramarye was killed. He died as Shady Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind before he parted. This. 7 years passed. I, Zack Gramarye, murdered my mentor, Magnafate Gramarye. I apologize for the trouble caused by my sudden departure from court and hereby confess to my crime. Wow. His confession. To use as I saw fit. Of course, he'd killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Valent Gramarye. Wow. Gay people are crazy. About how I do my character analysis, I don't really have a specific way I do it. It's mostly just thinking about the characters' feelings and how they've been through the world. What they've been through would affect them. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's typical. I mean, I don't think there's any correct or incorrect way to necessarily do character analysis, but... yeah. Okay. Anyway. The thing that makes character analysis interesting is that we all come from different backgrounds when we look at... well, many of us come from different backgrounds when we look at characters. And so when we analyze a character, we are adding our own experiences in our lives into the analysis of the character. Basically. The parallels between Apollo and Trucy having a good sibling relationship despite not even knowing, compared to Kristoff and Clavier, which is just an absolute complicated Yeah. Yeah. I'll talk about that more later. Well, this is a blast from the distant past. Long time no see, Mr. Valent. 7 years, has it been? Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Actually, I came because there's something I want to ask you. I've spoken to the press. I've nothing more to say. I've spoken to a lot of people myself, and come to some conclusions. But then I realized, I needed to hear it from you. Hold on. Important. I don't think I've ever seen a hot air balloon so close. It's a favorite of mine. I've often thought of how to use it in one of my shows. Perhaps for the climax of Valent's quick draw shoot 'em returns. I stand on stage, I shoot, and the hot air balloon is pierced. It explodes. What do you think? Thrilling, yes? A little, I guess. But no one inside the Coliseum would be able to see it. Bravo! It took me 4 days of planning to realize that. That's fucking Larry Butts. Anyway. A man in a costume is handing out balloons to the kids. It's nice to know kids still like balloons somehow. They're a favorite of mine. Balloon sellers, that is. I would have them join me on the big stage. They could hand out balloons to the children in the audience. Wouldn't all those balloons get in the way of seeing your show? Bravo! The possibility had not even occurred to me. Phoenix Wright, entertainment consultant. Hey, new career! That sure is a big sign. Yes, it's a favorite of mine. Impressive, isn't it? I considered using it for one wall of my house when the show's over. Wow, your house is that big? Actually, as fate would have it, I currently live in a one-room apartment. But following the wild success of my show, I intend to build a luxurious mansion. I was torn over just how big to make it, until that sign whispered the answer to me. That's really beautiful. Character I want to do my analysis for is kind of hard. Karma, I would say you will learn how to do character analysis in school. And like repeating a media over and over again, like what Ivy just said. Watching a lot of playthroughs to make certain connections, yeah. Or thinking about it many hours, which is my favorite thing to do. The Sunshine Coliseum, was it? I'm not sure it actually qualifies as a coliseum, but it's a great forum. Yes, it is a favorite of mine. I have always been fond of the sunshine. Speaking of which, have you heard what happened here recently? Oh yeah, something about something going on during some concert. Exactamundo! I see no reason to hide the fact that I too was involved in that case. Well, that's something. Did you help solve it? Huh! What do you take me for? No, I merely served to deepen the mystery. He said, no, I was problematic on purpose. I made everyone's lives more difficult. Sadly, we don't. Well, you're 14. Your schooling's not over. That's obstruction of justice. I'm a magician. It's my sworn duty to create mystery whenever possible. Okay, let's talk. Let's yap. I have walked a difficult road these past 7 years. Because you couldn't perform Magnafy's repertoire? Do not be deceived. Valent's skill is the real deal. I do not require my mentor's hand-me-downs. No, it was my partner who showed me on my way. Zach Gramery. Bitter X's. His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end. Or so I thought. Zach Gramery murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishment for his crime. You said something to that effect 7 years ago, didn't you? Oop, something fell over. That's okay. I remember it as if it were only yesterday. Yet, that was not the way of it, in the end. For while he vanished, the suspicions upon my own person never did. His partner Zach vanished to protect him. That's what those thieving magpies of a press said. I had no idea. Yet that very same press comes to me now, feigning interest. They cover the greatest magic show in history as if it were a vaudevillian distraction. And here I must stand, smiling at them all. What am I, if not a player in some fiendish farce? Might I suggest it's because you never made it clear what happened? Magnafy's death is still a mystery to this day. Which is why I came here to get the answer from you. Thought you might. I knew I'd be seeing these sooner or later. The audience has no business stepping upon the stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight. That sounds an awful lot like something I heard 7 years ago. But like 7 years ago, good sir, I am not an audience member. I am on stage with you. So we have to kind of share this spotlight for a second. I don't know if I'll be able to break this, but I think so. With what Zach has told me. Magnafy's death. Ask what you will, you'll get nothing from me. I'm as much of a part in this affair as you are now. I have to know what happened. For 7 long years, I have endured. Now, finally, the curtain lifts on my new golden age. All the miracles of our troupe within my grasp. Sorry to do this, Valent, but right now I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a proverbial bomb. Not a real bomb. No real bombs. That should shake things up. Valent, I wouldn't be so sure about those miracles. Not as long as I have this. It's this. Sorry, bestie. And what might that be? I see it bears the Gramarye seal. I should have brought this to your attention sooner. But I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast. What is this? A document showing the true recipient of the performance rights to Magnafy's miracles. What? Zach Gramarye. He wrote this? What? He passed everything to his daughter! Trucy and Igmar. Actually, she's officially my daughter these days. Preposterous! Zach is gone! Vanished into the void! This is the genuine article. Zach was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and the notary can testify to this. Oh, only one bunny now. Why does fate toy with me so? Why must my life be lived enthralled to the dead? You're not the only one with that problem. But he shot Magnafy. Yes, it was Zach. It was! And then he left, and my career as a magician fell into darkness. Did you think there might be some way out of it? Say, if you could prove Zach Gramarye shot Magnafy? Was that why you testified? Yes. My way out. It should have been my way out. Well, it might not be too late, Mr. Valen. All you need is a way to prove your case. Who really killed Magnafy Gramarye? He did this for you. I believe I have the answer to your prayers right here. Zach Gramarye wrote one more thing before passing on. But this is a confession! In which he admits to the killing of Magnafy Gramarye. See? All according to your plan. I am a magician by trade. Deception is my life's work. I fool the audience, give them a fleeting dream. Yet it seems the tables have turned. Now I am the audience, believing in the deceptions I have wrought upon myself. Zach wrote this right in front of me, after I explained your situation to him. Alakaz, oh my god! Valen's so funny, I love him. I wish his color wasn't the dreadful highlighter yellow, because I would consider cosplaying him. Alas. You do know that this confession is nothing but lies. Yes, it's my opinion that Zach Gramarye killed no one. Then you must be thinking the truth is a simple matter of elimination. 2 received instructions to kill, but if one is innocent, then the one who remains is guilty. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. So he vanished to protect me, his partner. A stirring tale, 'tis true. Did you shoot Magnafy Gramarye in the forehead? If I had, and I told you, what would you do? Run to the police, perchance? Do as you will. There is nothing left for me now. It is true, after all. I have little talent. I needed my mentor, Magnafy's repertoire. It was as if a little demon grabbed hold of me. I knew it. So Valen Gramarye did kill the great Magnafy. So sorry, Mr. Wright, but it was not I who shot my mentor. What? But if it wasn't you, then who was it? There wasn't another disciple, was there? Another disciple? Such as? I don't know. Knack and Talent Grammary, maybe? That's funny. That is what their names are. That's very funny. Your wild fancies couldn't be further from the truth. Only Zack and Valent received these threatening letters. But there was another. One more person could have fired that pistol that night. I don't suppose you've figured it out by now? If it wasn't Zack or Valent who shot Magnafy, then it had to be the only other person at the scene. Which means... Wait, you don't mean... Yes, the great Magnafy Grammary himself. So Magnafy Grammary committed suicide? You find it hard to believe. To be honest, I hadn't even imagined it as a possibility. When I arrived that night, the old man was still alive. He appeared to be asleep. I could not shoot him. But when I turned and made to leave the room, the old man called out to me. So you spoke with Magnafy Grammary? Yes, and this is why I knew what he had done. Magnafy transferred the rights to his repertoire to my partner, Zack Grammary, not me. I see. That makes sense. That's how you knew. It's also very interesting, like, when I look at Valent's costume compared to Zack's, Valent's looks more like a jersey, and the gloves are a lower caliber of quality than Zack's are. Let's see, does it show here? Yeah, you can see, right? Like, Zack and Thalassa have the nice big gloves. Valent has small ones. Like, he altogether... Like, now... Too, I feel like... His outfit just looks a lot more jersey, like a jersey. Because of the cuffs. I don't know. Anyway. Then I guess I owe you an apology. I always thought you were the one who did it. You owe me no apology. Huh? My crime was, in a way, more serious than that of murder. What? Your crime? Is Valent Grammary confessing something to me? What could be more serious than murder? You see, I knew that 2 letters had been sent. There are no secrets between partners. It was easy to find. Okay? Damn. That was when I understood Magnafy's plan. He wanted to die by one of your hands. Little did I expect it had anything to do with the rights to his repertoire. That was when I heard it. The little demon whispering inside my heart. The demon. Let me confess. I had intended to shoot Magnafy. And I planned on framing my partner for the crime. What? That night, I prepared something before going to Magnafy's hospital room. Which was... IV fluid, of course. I'd seen it on an earlier visit. If Zack did not shoot, I would do the deed. Then, I would use the IV liquid to place the murder in his hands. But there were no secrets between partners, so Zack figured you out. That was my plan. But you didn't shoot him. I could not. The demon in my heart fled when the moment came. But then Magnafy called me back. I'm sorry, Valent. I'm giving my magic to Zack, not you. You still lack the draw he has. Please help him, if you can. I left the room, and then I stopped. The shock of what I had just been told consumed me. That is when I heard that fateful gunshot. Magnafy Grammary, killing himself. Then the demon awoke anew within me. Zack killed him. He was the one. Frame him, and the magic will be yours. I altered the scene of his suicide. I took the pistol from his hand, wiped off the prints. Then I used the syringe to add the IV liquid I'd brought. So in the end, things happened pretty much as planned. Magnify died and you framed Zack for his murder. As planned indeed. Of course, the outcome was somewhat different than I had anticipated. Well, what do you think? Do you believe my story? Can it be believed truly? That was 7 years ago. I don't know what to believe. But... yes? I'm glad I heard it from you, Mr. Valent. Thank you. It is I who should be thanking you, Mr. Wright. Only when I had lost everything could I make my decision. You're going to turn yourself in? My partner may have vanished, but not so my guilt. And as my guilt stays, all else begins to leave me. My friends, my performance rights, my magic. I've had enough of vanishing acts. I understand. I thought my life was ruled by a dead man. But I find I was wrong. For Zack Gramarye was alive. Well, not anymore. And now it occurs to me, what if he was not the only one who survived? What do you mean? You see, now that I think about it, I realize that we never saw proof of her demise. We never saw her body. Her? The mind races and the mouth flaps on. My apologies. Forget this matter. I can only hope that the day will come when I again meet my partner, Zack Gramarye. Gay people are crazy. Then, I shall apologize for my terrible mistake. I am glad we had this chance to talk. Thank you. Damn, that sucks for him. Zack Gramarye, Shady Smith, whichever name you prefer, he is no longer with us. The truth revealed in that trial was only a sliver, and the impenetrable darkness that remained has taken another life. I knew what I'd have to do to push back the darkness for good, and it would involve paying that man a visit. I had Canon when they get to know each other better. Trucy says she sees Clav as an older brother, similar to how she sees Polly, and Clavier definitely starts tearing up. Yeah. Ivy, that's so funny. Here, hold on. Before I forget, let me send you a Google link to something. Hold on. I gotta manage the access. Let me make you a commenter in case you have comments. I'm working on a fic that I think will pertain to your interests in that way, but it's not done. I've had a little bit of writer's block recently just because, like, my brain is not in the space. My brain's not holding space for the Klapalo bullshit. And it's not done, and it's not edited, but you can read it for now. Anyway, we have one last loose end to tie up. The whole troop Gramarye is a tragedy. A tragedy that Apollo and Trucy inadvertently got caught up in. Yeah, especially Apollo had no idea who any of these people were like 3 months ago. The big G word. Do you mean gay? Because there's a lot of G's. Sorry, sir. Prisoner Christoph Gavin is currently occupied. I see. Do you know when he'll be finished? Well... Could you go find out? Oh, certainly, sir. Please wait here a moment. Read the letter. My apologies to the guard, but there's something I need to see. Letter, 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 letter. There it is. The yellow envelope. And the sender is... Drew Measham! I was right! When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Measham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. See, that's a good flashback. That one's been a while. If this is the last letter that Drew Measham wrote, then there's something I need to do. The last thing I need to do, in fact. Here goes. Let's see if this atroconine spray finds anything. So this was Drew Measham's messenger of death. It was this stamp, all right. No mistaking it. Living on Apple Street. That's not Measham as the last name. And that's not Christoph Gavin as the name. That's so funny. Anyway. And his last letter was sent to Christoph Gavin. The interview request came like you said it would, and they're looking into the case. I swear on my life I won't tell them about you. So please, release the spell you've put on my daughter. I'll write later with the report. Drew Measham. Gotcha. Finally, decisive evidence. What's this? A burglar in jail? Go fuck yourself, dude. Gavin. I didn't know you moonlighted in larceny, right? Gavin, there's something I have to ask you. Can I steal your stuff? The answer is no. My apologies, but there's not much I care to discuss. Vera Measham hasn't received her verdict yet. You follow me, Gavin? There are no known survivors of atroquinine poisoning, but it never hurts to hope. Okay, I'll be leaving now then. Right. Wait. Yeah, Gavin? Would you mind leaving that letter? It's private. Oh, sorry, forgot I had it. Many thanks. Get recorded, bitch! We've now seen all the clues in this case. Clues I gathered over 7 long years. Now, it is time. Every story has an ending. We've come to the final chapter. The final trial. Find the truth. You're the only ones who can. That reveal is so good. He's been recording all of it, and that's why the Mason system is able to exist, is because Phoenix has been collecting 7 years worth of conversations on a camera that was made for him by none other than fucking Emma Skye. That button is from Emma Skye, guys. Don't you recognize that button from fucking Rise from the Ashes? That's an Emma Skye creation. Isn't that cool? That shit rocks, dude. Man. Man, oh man. So something that we can infer now, that I haven't talked about yet, but I'd like to talk about briefly, and then I will let you all go. But actually, first, I'm going to get my honey lemon drink because my throat is a little dry. 1 second.すっきりと蜂蜜レモン。カロリーオフ。すっきり Hire me for commercials, Japan. Do you need a token gaijin? Anyway. Stop with the message retracted, for real. It's so annoying. Just leave them in. Anyway. Something that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream was, I don't think Kristoff is necessarily a predator, but I think he's very good at using people's naivete. And I think that comes... I think he's also very good at keeping information away from people. Like, he purposefully is very selective about the information that he gives to certain people. He's not like a person who will be like, I will tell this thing so that everyone is informed. And he does that to manipulate, right? So, the reason I think it's not just minors, but like general naivete is because he did it to Phoenix, where he kept Phoenix close and was like, my friend, oh my god, no, I didn't vote for you to lose your badge. What? That's crazy. He kept Spark Brushel close. He was like, oh my god, yeah, like, you know, you were close with Zach Gramery. I get it, dude, I get it, you know? He manipulates Trucy, being like, oh, don't you want to help your dad? Like, this will help. Look, this is a thing for him. Make sure the lawyer gets it, honey. You know, okay, I'm also a lawyer, so I know. He manipulates Vera. I get what it's like to not want to go outside, Vera. This thing, this magical thing, it's like a magic lucky charm, and it'll help you build confidence. He takes advantage of people with low confidence. Clavier learned about the forged diary page from a tip-off to the prosecutor's office. The only person who knew about the forged diary page in advance, there were 3 people who knew, and that was Vera, Drew, and the client, aka Kristoff. Vera and Drew never met Clavier, so that eliminates them as the people who could have tipped off the prosecutor's office. In other words, that reveals Kristoff to be the person who tipped off Clavier about this. And we just know that the way that he did this was not menacing. He did it in a way that was like, oh my god, Clavier, it's like your first case, like, you know, first big case. You're up against this, like, really, you know, I'm really sad that it's not going to be us against each other, because it was originally supposed to be. But it's not going to be us, you know, but I'm so glad it's you, because I trust you, and I found this out. And this guy's going to be using illegal evidence, possibly. So keep an eye out for it. I'm doing this so that you catch it. And you know what it did? It improved Clavier's reputation in the end. And Clavier didn't recognize at all that he was manipulated. He was like, thank goodness we got the tip off. And he believed. Kristoff takes advantage of people who are willing to believe in him. He took advantage of a young Apollo Justice who had no one left for him in the world, who was in foster care, canonically in foster care, and then took him under his wing and treated him well. And then was like, you're going to defend, okay, I guess you're the one who's going to defend this man, but I'm also going to make all of the decisions and like talk over you. And then the second that Apollo showed some independence from him, his attitude completely switched when he realized he could no longer manipulate Apollo. That shit's so scary and realistic. Because that is what a narcissist does. The second they realize they can't manipulate you anymore, they do that kind of shit. Clavier was probably super nervous about his first case, so when his big brother comes in seemingly to help him out and gives him advice, yeah. Yeah. Crazy. The feel, not the actual situation, but the feelings of like what a narcissist does. Absolutely. That is textbook narcissism. Ooh, don't even get me started during this upcoming trial. Ooh, when I catch... Boy, when I catch you. Yeah, for real. Yeah. Hate Christoph Gavin. He super interesting character. Hate his guts. I'll never forgive him what he did to Trucy, to Phoenix, to Apollo, to Clavier, especially to Clavier. That's your brother. You dumb motherfucker. That's your brother. The only worst thing you could have done is if you had children or a spouse and you did that shit. It makes me mad. It makes my blood boil. Because Clavier has the personality that he would have thought as Christoph as a good brother. That's why he was angry, or like, that's why he was aggressive toward Apollo when he first met him in court and realized this was the person who'd put his brother in jail. Sucks. Sucks. Anyway. As Karma just said, oh no, the final stream is upon us. Indeed, Thursday will be the final Ace Attorney 4 stream. Crazy. Crazy. And then I will be taking my little break. There might be a GeoGuessr stream in there somewhere, or something like a browser game. We'll see. It depends. It depends on what I decide to do during my break. And then, starting... Hold on. Hold that thought. Starting the 9th, I assume... そうだね. The 9th? Ivy, don't! Ivy, don't! I know! The 9th? Oh, I guess I'm... Okay, so hold on. Yeah, so I'll be taking 3 weeks off, technically. The 9th, we start Ace Attorney investigations. If you missed Edgeworth... Oh, he'll be back. If you missed Gumshoe, he'll be back. If you missed Francisca, she'll be back. Plus some new characters. I cannot wait for Investigations 2. That's my favorite mainline game. That one makes me go cuckoo crazy. The writing is so good. What a mystery that one has. The mystery writing in that one is crazy good. Anyway. But like I said, Thursday we finish this game and then I take a little break. And then Thursday and Saturday streams will remain. I don't know what will happen otherwise. I think maybe January will just be Ace Attorney streams. Mm-hmm. And then I'll figure something out by February. I don't know. Because I have things to do in February as well. We'll see. I have things to do. If you are a Great Ace Attorney liker, I will be doing something so special in February. There's a lot going on out there. I'll tell you what, you and I are just a little speck compared to what's going on out there. Yeah. Anyway. I'm done for today. I need to like... Anyway. You know the drill. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Be good to yourself. Be kind. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Please wear a mask, especially this time of year. It's so important. Thank you for hanging out, and I will see you hopefully Thursday for the end of this game. Otherwise, I'll see you in next year. Unless you're a VOD watcher, then nothing matters. If you're a VOD watcher, nothing matters. What a life. What a life you must live. Okay, bye.